Greetings. Hey, it's Christine here for a second day in the row for your travel tips. We're going live here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. Hola, bonjour, ciao. Today I'm sharing my best tips for budgeting your trip. So, this is the second of my series of daily travel tips as I get ready for an international trip to Panama at the end of the month. And so, I'm going to be sharing my best tips for travel, particularly international travel. So I'm going to be sharing those in kind of the same order as I would do when I am preparing to go on a big trip. And I usually start that at least several weeks to several months beforehand, depending on what I've been doing lately. So, in today's quick tip video, we're going to talk about budgeting. So, whether you've got a huge bucket list trip you want to do, like going to see the Northern Lights in Norway or Patagonia or Antarctica, or if you want to do a cooking class in Italy, maybe you want to hike Portugal's Camino de Santiago, or even if you just want to go around the United States this summer for a national parks tour, you're going to want to figure out your budget. And so, why listen to me? Well, I've traveled around the world for fun and for work, teaching and guiding. And I've been to from Alaska to the Caribbean to Peru to Borneo and throughout Europe. So I've got lots of tips and tricks, and I want to help you avoid some of the mistakes I've had. So we can talk about some of those fun mistakes later on. So let's talk about budgeting. So many of these tips kind of go in certain categories, like budgeting when you think about destinations, transportation, your activities. And I go into a lot more detail about those in my course called, what is it called? Now I forget the name of my course. Travel Like a Pro. And it's focused on solo, independent women travelers like me to give them confidence and skills to travel. But most of my tips can help you no matter who you are. So, again, yesterday's tips was on passports. Okay. So, where are we now? Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. Let me get my handout. Oh, here they are. Okay. So when you're budgeting for a trip, you have to kind of think about what your style is. So, if you're young, like a lot of us used to be, you might want to be backpacking through Europe with a Eurail pass, and you might hope to spend just, $50 a day. Although if you're kind of more my age and want something more comfortable, you might be more on the luxury end. So it just depends. You really want to think about your style of travel. Of course, the cost of your trip is going to depend on the season as well and on the number of stops you make. So if you're trying to do, 10 countries in 14 days, that's going to be a lot of travel, flights and trains that can be really expensive. Those can add up really quickly. Yeah. And so when you're thinking about your budget, first you kind of want to think about your budget at home. And recently, I've been doing some courses on finance and management, and so I've been really looking at my budget with a fine tooth comb, looking at what my monthly expenses are. And the sooner you can do something that like that before your trip, especially months and months in advance, you can cut out extras so that you can save them for your trip. And then once you come up with your base expenses at home that you'll still have when you're traveling, then you can work on a budget for traveling. And again, that depends on your destination and your travel style, the season, that kind of thing. And so, actually, in my course, I have this template, an editable Excel template that helps you to kind of think about your expenses. So you're going to have expenses before your trip, like getting that passport I talked about in a previous video. Maybe your pre-tip expenses include getting vaccines and travel insurance. And then you'll have other expenses. Of course, most of your expenses will be during your trip. So that's flights and travel insurance, and yeah, lodging, food, activities, all of those kind of things. And then there's even some post trip expenses you want to kind of think about. Like if you've put anything on a credit card, which probably most of us have, you're going to have more finance charges on your credit card. And you should really figure those in too. So there's a lot of kind of hidden costs. Now, oh, I want to say hi to Gretchen and hi to Liz Carey Art. Thank you so much for joining. And again, I think I can see people's comments. Maybe, maybe not. Have no idea. Okay. One moment, please. Let me make sure. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Um, so then when we think about budgets and money saving tips, those go into a few different categories, right? So one of them is your destinations. So again, there are expensive countries, like lots of those in Western Europe. And then there are cheaper countries, like those in Southeast Asia and Central America. So you really want to plan well in advance. There are also high seasons and low seasons. Like the low season in Central America is in the summer, where it's often rainy, and that's when actually I go a lot because it is cheaper. So considering, the shoulder seasons or off seasons when you're traveling. And again, certain low cost countries like Guatemala and Honduras, Thailand, Vietnam, the Czech Republic, Albania. There's so many places. And then terms of a budgeting for transportation, of course, the sooner you buy a flight, the better, usually at least several months beforehand. And I've got lots of other tips inside my course on how to save money with flights. But often, if you book a flight midweek, you're going to get a better deal. What else? Also, trying to reduce the number of times you fly. So, a lot of people, they think they have to squeeze everything into their vacation and see, 20 countries in 21 days. And that's just super expensive and tiring. You'll need a vacation from your vacation when you get home. So try to just have one flight and get to your destination and just really settle in and relax and enjoy it. Now, in terms of lodging, some lodgings like Airbnbs can be a lot cheaper if you can have those for a full month. Sometimes they're up to 30 or 40 or 50% cheaper than booking them just for a week or so. And of course, there's all styles of lodging. And so really do your shopping. You can, stay at really expensive resorts on the beach, or you can stay at more mom and pop style of places like I often do, going to bird watching lodges, which can be a bit cheaper. And then let's see, another thing for budgeting and saving money are activities. And so, you could pay a lot of money if you're going to go on a guided tour. But if you organize something yourself, it's going to be a lot less expensive. And you can get lots of ideas, online or in guidebooks, on websites like TripAdvisor. So those are going to give you a lot of the ideas. And also, if you go to a city's website, like the city of Rome or Paris, they often have information for tourists and lists of things that are actually free for tourists, usually during certain times or certain days, like walking tours. And then also, what was that about that? Yeah, there's local events you can enjoy, and often cities will sell passes that will kind of get you into a lot of different sites and museums and parks for one price. And so that's a really good deal as well. Now, let's see, what else can I tell you here? I got some notes here. I got lots of notes. Not going to tell you everything. There's a lot of things again in my course, Travel Like a Pro. And I'll put links to that down below once this is finished. But another way you can save money, of course, is with money or currency. You'll have to be careful about, where you get it exchanged. And you can sign up for credit cards that are actually kind of focused on travel that give you lots of reward points. Like I have an Alaska Airlines card that gives me lots of points for travel. In fact, my upcoming trip to Los Angeles, Panama via Los Angeles is free because of all the points I have. And then also, though, in terms of money, be careful you don't get money stolen. That's part of your budgeting. So, be careful with your wallet, be careful of which ATMs you use. And exchange rates. Usually you want to pay in the local currency. Otherwise, some businesses and restaurants can kind of scam you if you're trying to tell them you want to pay in your own country's currency. Um, let's see, in terms of, we talked about restaurants. In terms of dining out, you can save a lot of money there. That's one of your biggest expenses in a trip. And I suggest when you're in a city, especially one of the bigger cities that have kind of tourist centers, to get out of that area, walk a ways, get out into the real neighborhoods and see where the locals are dining. And don't go to one of those restaurants that has a bilingual placard out front saying, we speak English. That's just begging for you to be paying too much money. So find those little hole in the wall places that locals eat at. And, if you're lucky, your hotel might provide an included breakfast, which is a good way to save money. And also just, going grocery shopping or going to the local markets. So many cities around the world have these amazing markets. I remember being in Italy and Sicily and Sardinia, the wonderful markets that had the fresh fish and the exotic fruits and vegetables and olive oils and cheeses. And so that's not only going to save you money by kind of picnicking, but it's also going to give you a wonderful cultural experience. And then lodging, right. So I mentioned lodging in terms of staying more days to get a discount. And also, certain credit cards will give you points for lodges, and certain hotel chains. You can earn points, with Marriott or Hilton or Hyatt. Best Western. Now, I'm usually not the kind of person that stays in those fancy places, but you could do that. Um, and then another place that you can really save money and you want to think about when you're budgeting is communication costs. Okay. And so in the old days, when I used to have a Verizon phone plan, I had to pay $10 a day to access the internet if I wasn't near Wi-Fi. And half the time it didn't even work, and I still had to pay the $10. So try to really keep your phone in airplane mode to save you those automatic charges, and only use your phone in Wi-Fi. And, if you have apps like WhatsApp and Facebook Time, and, Zoom and various, what are they called? Yeah, WhatsApp, Facebook, Zoom, Apple FaceTime. All of those are going to allow you to chat for free as well. So that'll save you a lot of money. And then you can also pick up a local SIM card in the country you're going to insert into your phone. So anyway, that's a lot more details than we have time to go into right there. But I did want to mention, where is it? Oh, here. I have too many pages here. So if you want to learn more about travel, check out my website, christineelder.com/travel. And I've got more information there about my online self-paced course. I'm doing lots of updates to it right now because I am getting ready to travel, and there's going to be lots of bonuses in that course all summer long related to my work in Panama. But basically, my course includes lots of units on different things that are going to help you get ready for a trip, pre-trip planning, like today's event on budgeting, as well as getting your vaccines and health and safety, technology, that kind of thing. And then there's also information on luggage and packing and wardrobes and language, hablo español, and flights and that kind of thing. The course also has a lot of downloadable guides. So this is like my packing checklist for carry-on only trips, which I really suggest you try to only have carry-on. And that's another great way to save money on a trip because you spend a lot of money nowadays checking baggage. And if you have a lot of flights, that can really add up. And I have another download on a capsule wardrobe checklist. And since I'm a nature sketcher and journaler, the course comes with downloadable lists of all of my favorite tools. And what else? My quick start guide to travel journaling. So, when you go on a trip, especially if it's going to be a once in a lifetime bucket list trip, you're going to want to remember that somehow. And so this downloadable guide will tell you how to do that and give you lots of tips. And then one of my most valuable resources inside my Travel Like a Pro course is my epic guide and checklist to prepping and packing for adventure. And this tells you every single thing that I do up to 3 months before a planned trip to plan it and to pack for it. And so, yeah, so I hope you'll consider checking that out. Again, my website is christinelder.com/travel, and you can check out that online self-paced course. I already have 46 students who are really enjoying it. And if you go onto that page, you will see other testimonials. And you'll also see public units that I've set for public viewing so you can get an example of my teaching style. Okay, and yeah. So again, why would you learn from me? What would that do for you to learn and study with me in my Travel Like a Pro course? Well, again, I've traveled in a lot of areas of the world. I've been to about 15 countries, and I've had every experience and every mishap. I've had experiences like zip lining in the tropics and horseback riding in Turkey and scuba diving in Southeast Asia. And I've been to the rainforests and I've been to the tundra. And I've also had every single mishap. So, you can learn from my mishaps and not repeat those by learning how to avoid those in my course. So I've had everything happen from being stung by a jellyfish in the ocean to losing the car keys in the tundra. What else? Losing luggage, missing flights, having health issues, food poisoning, stolen credit cards, you name it. So I've learned all those things, and I want to save you the trouble. Okay, so anyway, I hope you'll join me next time. Again, I'm trying to go live every day on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to share my favorite travel tips. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you found these travel budgeting tips useful. So adios, au revoir, and arrivederci. Bye-bye.